Love X revenge. She never meant to impress anyone that day, least of all the man who owned the entire building. Lena Park was just a cleaning lady. A quiet, overworked, underpaid woman who mopped marble floors that cost more than her whole yearly salary. She kept her head down, did her job, and tried not to get noticed. In a place like Axton Corp, where even receptionists wore designer heels, that was the safest way to survive. But that morning, everything went wrong the moment she heard a child crying. She was wiping down the long glass wall in the 32nd floor lobby when she noticed a small boy curled on the leather sofa, knees pulled to his chest, tiny shoulders shaking. No adult in sight, no nanny, no parent, no assistant. Just him, and he was struggling to breathe between sobs. Lena dropped her cloth immediately. She approached slowly, gently. "Hi, sweetheart, are you okay?" The boy lifted his face, red-eyed and panicked. I want my mom," he hiccuped. "She said she'd come back, but she didn't. She's in a meeting and I don't like it here." Lena's heart clenched. She remembered that feeling too well, the loneliness, the anxiety, the sting of being forgotten in a world that moved too quickly. "Hey," she whispered softly, crouching beside him. "Can I show you something?" Before she could second-guess herself, she reached into her pocket. She worked part-time at a small cafe on weekends, and the owner kept a basket of little toys for kids. Yesterday, they'd let her take home a cheap plastic bubble wand that no one wanted. She had planned to give it to her neighbor's daughter. But right now, this boy needed it more. She uncapped it, dipped the wand, and blew a single shimmering bubble into the air. The boy froze mid-sniffle, watching the bubble float lazily, catching the lobby lights, spinning colors like magic. Another bubble, and another. The boy's breathing eased. His tiny hands reached out instinctively, trying to pop the fragile circles drifting toward him. A small giggle escaped him. Just one, but real. "Why are you doing that?" he asked softly. "Because," Lena smiled, "bubbles helped me when I was nervous as a kid. They helped me breathe." "Can I try?" he asked. Of course. She let him hold the wand while she steadied the bottle, and soon the air filled with floating, dancing globes. The boy's laughter echoed through the hall, soft but bright, a sound that felt like sunshine warming a cold room. And neither of them noticed the tall figure standing behind the tinted glass wall of the conference room. Watching every second. Axton Hale, feared CEO, business legend, rumored to be colder than the marble floors he walked on, didn't believe in coincidences. He had stepped out of a high-stakes meeting for 2 minutes, just 2, because his assistant told him his son was having a panic episode. But when he arrived, he didn't see a crying child. He saw the poor cleaning lady, uniform slightly faded, shoes worn at the soles, kneeling beside his son with gentleness no one in his high-class world ever used. He saw his son smiling, a smile Axton hadn't seen in weeks. He saw bubbles drifting around them like a surreal, fragile halo. And something inside him stilled. The boardroom's glass was soundproof, but he didn't need sound to understand what was happening. This woman had calmed his son. His son, who hadn't spoken in school for 2 months. His son, who froze at the slightest pressure. His son, who he would have given up his entire empire for, if only he knew how to help him. But the one who helped was the woman everyone overlooked. The cleaning lady. Axton stepped forward just as his son burst into a soft giggle. "Evan," Axton said, voice surprisingly gentle. The boy turned, eyes widening. "Daddy." Lena jumped to her feet instantly, nearly knocking over the bucket. I'm sorry, sir." He was crying. "No one came, and I didn't want him to be alone, I wasn't trying to overstep." Axton raised a hand, not to scold, but to reassure. "Thank you," he said simply. No CEO tone. No coldness. Just gratitude. Lena blinked, confused. I'm sorry. You helped my son," he said. "More effectively than any specialist I've hired." He turned to Evan, smoothing his hair. "Feeling better?" Evan nodded shyly, still holding the bubble wand. Axton looked back at Lena. "What's your name?" She swallowed nervously. "Lena Park, sir. And you work here?" "I just do cleaning," she mumbled, cheeks burning. Just, he repeated slowly, as if the word offended him. You do something most people in this building can't. You noticed my son was in distress, and you helped him. Lena didn't know what to say. Compliments weren't something people directed at her. Mostly, they asked her to move, clean something again, or stay out of the way. Thank you, sir, she whispered. Evan tugged Axton's sleeve. Daddy, can Miss Lena stay a little? She makes the bubbles do rainbows. Axton's mouth twitched, almost into a smile. Almost. If Miss Lena doesn't mind. Lena looked torn. I'm still on duty. I'll speak to your supervisor. The way he said it left no room for refusal, but not in a threatening way, more in a certainty that he could make anything happen. She nodded. And for the next 20 minutes, Lena and Evan sat on the floor blowing bubbles while the CEO of a billion-dollar empire quietly watched, arms crossed, expression unreadable but eyes strangely soft. Later that afternoon, word spread through the building. The poor cleaning lady had caught the CEO's attention. People whispered, speculated, mocked, she's probably getting fired, or he thinks she stole something. He never talks to staff like that. She must have done something. But the truth was far stranger than any rumor. Axton asked Auer for her file, requested her schedule, even rearranged his meetings so he could pick up his son personally the next day. No one had ever seen him do that. Not even once. But Lena didn't know any of this. She just went home exhausted, convinced she'd crossed a line and would be reprimanded. Instead, the next morning, she arrived to find the head of HR waiting for her. Mr. Hale wants to see you in his office. Her heart dropped. She walked into the CEO's top-floor office expecting a warning. Instead, she found Evan sitting in a chair, swinging his legs, bubble wand in hand. And Axton standing beside him with a look she couldn't interpret. Lena, he said, I have a proposal. Her pulse jumped. A proposal, sir? I want to hire you, he said. Not as a cleaning lady. He looked at Evan, as his emotional support aide. Temporary, flexible hours, triple your current salary, and full benefits. Lena's jaw dropped. I'm not qualified for something like that. You calmed him, Axton said. That's more qualification than half the professionals I've interviewed. Evan looked up at her with pleading eyes. Miss Lena, please. And that was it. The moment that changed everything. The moment a poor cleaning lady's life collided with a millionaire CEO's. The moment kindness turned into connection, and connection into something deeper neither of them dared name yet. But it was only the beginning. Because in the world of love x revenge, no meeting is accidental, no secret stays buried, and no heart remains untouched.